Spine straight, close your eyes, take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Deep breath in, hold it there. Oh, oh, oh. ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं यो अन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम् ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये ईश्वरः परमः कृष्णः सच्चिदानन्दविग्रहः अनादिरादिर्गोविन्दः सर्वकारणकारणम् कृष्णं नारायणं वन्दे कृष्णं वन्दे व्रजप्रियम् कृष्णं द्वैपायनं वन्दे कृष्णं वन्दे प्रथासतम् सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः रमापतिपदाम्भोज परिस्फुरति मानसम् सेनापतिमहं वन्दे विश्वक्सेनं निरन्तरम् प्रह्लाद नारद पराशर पुण्डरीक व्यासम्बरीश शुक शौनक भीष्मदाल्भ्यान् रुक्माङ्गदार्जुन वसिष्ठ विभीषणादीन् पुण्यानिमान् परमभागवतान् स्मरामि ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतः चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयः यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकम् सत्यं परं धीमहि धर्मः प्रोज्झितकैतवोऽत्र परमः निर्मत्सराणां सता वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदम् तापत्रयोन्मूलनम् श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तत्क्षणात् निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतम् पिबत भागवतं रसमालयम् मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यम् द्वैपायनो विरह कातराजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुः तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि यस्वानुभावमखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपमतितितीर्षतान्तमोऽन्धम् संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यम्
तं व्याससूनुमुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम् नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्घ्रये। यस्य भगवताख्या सर्वेषां भक्तिदा नृणां स एव करुणा सिन्धुः बोधितात्मा गुरुर्मम। तस्मै श्रीवासुदेवाय धरणीसुररूपिणे गुरुवायुपुरेशाय तुभ्यं श्रीगुरवे नमः। शङ्खचक्रगदा पद्मधारिणे गुरुरूपिणे गुरुवायुपुरेशाय वासुदेवाय ते नमः। संसारसागरे मग्नं दीनं मां करुणानिधे कर्मग्राहगृहीताङ्गं मामुद्धर भवार्णवात्। श्रीमद्भागवताख्योऽयं प्रत्यक्षः कृष्ण एव हि स्वीकृतोऽसि मया नाथ मुक्त्यर्थं भवसागरे। मनोरथो मदीयोऽयं सफलः सर्वथा त्वया निर्विघ्नेनैव कर्तव्यः दासोऽहं तव केशव। शुकरूपप्रबोधज्ञ सर्वशास्त्रविशारद एतत्कथा प्रकाशेन मदज्ञानं विनाशय। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खं कौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रम् राधासहायमतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशमनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वातालयेशमनिशं हृदि भावयामि। Pranams to the Lord. Pranams to all the Mahatmas in tonight's Bhagawat Satsang. We have completed the first chapter of the first Katha last week. Today we have to start the second one. But as we usually do, let us do the Parayana of the first chapter. Those who would like to do it, please volunteer, raise your hand so that I'll get the total number of people. Then I can divide the number of verses for each person. Okay. So there are 10 people. We have 23 verses. The first verses are bigger ones, so we can give one verse, and then we can take two verses based on our smaller verses. Okay. So I will call out. You please remember your verse number. Lata Balachandran ji, the starting from Om Shri Paramatmane and the first verse you will do. Then Lata Kartik ji, you do the second verse. Vani, you do third and the fourth verse. Nikhila ji, 5 and 6. Shobha ji, 7 and 8. Sajeev ji, 9 and 10. Radha Krishnan ji, 11 and 12. Rajeshwari ji, 13 and 14. Aruna ji, 15 and 16. Pushpa ji, 17 and 18. Venkatesh ji, 19 and 20. Okay. And then we have, then Lataji, you can do 21. Lata Karthikji, you can do 22. Did I miss anyone? No. So Lata Karthikji, you do 22, 23 and finish it off. Okay. Let us begin.
ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् प्रथमः स्कन्धः अथ प्रथमोऽध्यायः। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतः चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयः यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि।
धर्मः प्रोज्झितकैतवोऽत्र परमः निर्मत्सराणां सताम् वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनम् श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तक्षणात्
निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः नैमिषे निमिषक्षेत्रे ऋषयः शौनकादयः सत्रं स्वर्गाय लोकाय सहस्रसममासत
त एकदा तु मुनयः sorry was it to tune त एकदा तु मुनयः प्रातर्हृतहृताङ्नयः सकृतं सूतमासीनं पप्रच्छुरिदमादरात् ऋषयौचुः त्वया खलु पुराणानि सेतिहासानि चानघ आख्यातान्याप्यधीतानि धर्मशास्त्राणि यान्युता
यानि वेदविदां श्रेष्ठः भगवान् बादरायणः अन्ये च मुनयः सूत परावरविदो विदुः वेत्थत्वं सौम्य तत्सर्वं तत्त्वतस्तदनुग्रहात् ब्रूयुस्निग्धस्य शिष्यस्य गुरवो गुह्यमप्युत
तत्र तत्राञ्जसायुष्मन् भवता यद्विनिश्चितं पुंसामेकान्ततः श्रेयः तन्न संश्रितुमर्हसि प्रायेणाल्पायुषः सभ्य कलावस्मिन् युगे जनाः मन्दासु मन्दमतयः मन्दभाग्या ह्युपद्रुताः।
Krishnanji, can you unmute yourself?
Sorry, I didn't know. Sorry. Bhurini bhuri karmani shrodhavyani vibhagashah adassadotra yatsaram samudritya manishaya bruhina shraddhananam yenatma samprasidati सुदजानासि भद्रन्ते भगवान् सात्वतां पदिः देवक्यां वसुदेवस्य जानो यस्य चिकीर्षया sorry.
तन्नः शुश्रूषमाणानामर्हस्याङ्गनुवर्णितुं यस्यावतारो भूतानां क्षेमाय च भवाय च आपन्नसंसृतिं घोरां यन्नाम विवशो गृणन् ततः सद्यो विमुच्येत यद्बिभेति स्वयं भयम्
यत्पादसंश्रया सूत मुनयः प्रशमायनाः सद्यः पुनञ्चुपस्पृष्टाः स्वधुन्यापोनुसेवया को वा भगवतस्तस्य पुण्यश्लोकेऽङ्ग्यकर्मणा शुद्धिकामो न शृणुयात् यशः कलिमलापहम्
तस्य कर्माण्युदाराणि परिगीतानि सूरिभिः ब्रूहि न श्रद्दधानानां लीलया दधतः कलाः अथाख्या हि हरेर्धीर्मन् अवतार कथा शुभाः लीला विदधथ स्वैरमीश्वरस्यात्मताया
वयं तु न वितृप्याम उत्तम श्लोक विक्रमे उत्तम श्लोक विक्रमे यच्छृण्वतां रसज्ञानां साधु स्वाधु पदे कुतवान्खिल वीर्याणि सह रामेण केशवः अतिमर्त्यानि भगवान् कूढ कपट मानुषः
कलिमागतमाज्ञाय क्षेत्रेऽस्मिन् वैष्णवे वयम् आसीना दीर्घसत्रेण कथायां सक्षणा हरेः
तन्नः सन्दर्शितो धात्रा दुस्तरन् स्थितिशतां कलिं सत्त्वहरं पुंसां कर्णधार इवार्णवम् ब्रूहि योगेश्वरे कृष्णे ब्रह्मण्ये धर्मवर्मणि स्वाङ्काष्ठामधुनोपेते धर्मः क्यों शरणं गतः ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायां प्रथमस्कन्धे नैमिषीयोपाख्याने प्रथमोऽध्यायः हरये नमः हरये नमः हरये नमः सदा सर्वत्र गोविन्द नाम संकीर्तनं गोविन्दा गोविन्द नारायण अखिल गुरु भगवन् नमस्ते.
Awesome. Everything went on well only. Just little here and there. Vayam tuna trupyamaha. Visarga is there. Verse number 19. Leela vidathata swairam. Verse number 18. Ishwarasyatmama. That's more or less okay. So, what was this first chapter about? What did we see in the 23 verses? Anybody? Quickly. Quickly. Anything. Anyone
God's
like?
glory.
No?
Bhagwan's glory was this.
No?
Uh,
What was the chapter about? So, okay. Nobody is there to answer, or
Sutta
somebody is
is,
there having an answer?
Shaunaka and other sages,
Asked.
Sutta for advice.
Yeah. So the first chapter is about the Rishi is going to Sutta and asking the questions. And the answer to these questions are going to be the subsequent chapters. Okay. How many questions were asked? No one? I had said that in the class. How many questions? 6 questions were asked. Okay. Now, what are the 6 questions? One by one. What is in verse number 9? So, what is the ultimate good for people? This is the question number 1. Okay. What is in the subsequent verse? So many Bhuri Shastra is there, so much is there, whatever is there, so much is there. But you tell us what is the essence of the scriptural knowledge. So much is there to study. How can we have all the time to study everything? So you just give. So what is good, highest good for person? Question number 1. Question 2, so much is there to study. What is the essence of all that? So you tell us in essence, out of so many shastras available, since you are so well studied and you are so well read, give us the essence of it. What is the third question? Subsequent. Why did Lord appear in this earth? Why is the avatara? Okay. What is the avatara? Purpose of the avatara. Then what happens? What leelas did God do? What were the Lord's activities? What was the purpose is the third question. Then what was the activities? Then with each incarnation, Lord took so much incarnation. With each of that, what did he do in each of his activity, in each form? He came in the world. What did he do regarding the world? And with each activity, what did he do? And the last and the final question, Lord has gone, then where that, whatever was Lord, where that principle would be found after Lord has left? Okay, so these are the 6 questions, and now we are entering into the second chapter, and we'll be getting the answers for these 6 questions. So in these 23 verses of first chapter, we came to know how the chapter starts, how the scene starts on the background of this Naimisharanya. And these Rishayas, in order to relieve them, the world, from the grief, they have asked the highest good for all. They didn't ask something for themselves. This is what the role of Rishis are. They don't ask for themselves. They ask for the benefit of the whole humanity. So from this question, now the revealing of one by one questions would start. Okay. So this was the gist of the first chapter. Now, means to whom people have to go, take shelter into is the question. Now let us enter the second chapter. Volunteers can raise hand, those who want to chant. I don't see any kids. Nikhila ji, Radha Krishnan ji. अथ द्वितीयोऽध्यायः
अथ द्वितीयोऽध्यायः
द्वितीयोऽध्यायः
अगेन् अथ द्वितीयोऽध्यायः
अथ द्वितीयोऽध्यायः
व्यास उवाच
व्यास उवाच
व्यास उवाच
इति सम्प्रश्नसंहृष्टः
इति सम्प्रश्नसंहृष्टः
इति सम्प्रश्नसंहृष्टः
विप्राणाव्रौ महर्षणिः
विप्राणां महर्षिणिः विप्राणां महर्षिणिः
विप्राणां महर्षिणिः
प्रतिपूज्य वचस्तेषाम्
प्रतिपूज्य वचस्तेषाम्
प्रतिपूज्य वजस्तेषाम्
प्रवक्तुमुपचक्रमे
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 व्यास उवाच इति सम्प्रश्नसंहृष्टः विप्राणाव्रौ महर्षणिः
व्यास उवाच इति सम्प्रश्नसंहृष्टः विप्राणां महर्षणिः
व्यास उवाच इति सम्प्रश्नसंहृष्टः विप्राणां महर्षिणिः
हर्षिनो हर्ष
विप्रा इति सम्प्रश्नसंहृष्टः विप्राणां महर्षणिः
प्रतिपूज्य वचस्तेषाम् प्रवक्तुमुपचक्रमे
प्रतिपूज्य वचस्तेषां प्रवक्तुमुपप्रचक्रमे
प्रतिपूज्य वजस्तेषां प्रवक्तुमुपचक्रमे
व्यास उवाच इति सम्प्रश्नसंहृष्टः विप्राणां महर्षणिः प्रतिपूज्य वचस्तेषां प्रवक्तुमुपचक्रमे
व्यास उवाच इति सम्प्रश्नसंहृष्टः विप्राणां महर्षणिः प्रतिपूज्य वजस्तेषां प्रवक्तुमुपचक्रमे
So, who is Rauma Harshani? Rauma Harshani. Like Dhartarashtraha. Who is Dhartarashtraha?
पुत्रः
Dha. Sons of Dhritarashtra, Dhartarashtra. Who is Vasudeva?
son of Vasudeva.
Son of Vasudeva,
Vasudeva.
Vasudeva. So now, like that, Rauma Harshani. Who is Rauma Harshani? Son of Roma Harsha. We have seen this in the first chapter, I have said. Oh, from where it started, in the initial. So who is Roma Harsha's son? What is his name? Ugrashrava. And in this whole Bhagavat, by what name we will know this Ugrashrava? That also I told last class. Suta. Okay. So, Suta. So, Rauma Harshini Samhrishtaha. So, Suta was happy. By what? Vipranam Samprashna. Vipranam, the Brahmanas or the Rishis. By Rishi's question, Samprashnaha, Samhrishtaha, who Romaharshani was happy by listening to all the Muni's questions. They asked these in the previous chapter. The Rishis approached him and asked these 6 questions. So, this Suta was very happy. Then, pratipujyaha. Pratipujya vachaha tesham. Tesham, their vachas, their questions. Pratipujya, he welcomed those questions. Pravaktum, our tumunavya, tumun means to say, to tell. Upachakrame, he began to narrate, or he tried, or he attempted to narrate the answers to them. Rishis have asked to Suta. Suta is now going to begin to answer these questions. Vyasa uvacha iti prasamprashna samhrishtaha viprāṇaṁ rau maharshanihi pratipūja vachastesham pravaktum upachakrame. Continue. Suta uvacha
सूत उवाच
सूत उवाच
yam pravrajantamanupetamapeta
यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यम्
यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यम्
द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव.
द्वौपायनो
द्वै, not द्वौ.
द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव
द्वैपायनो विरहकादर आजुहाव
पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुः.
पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुः
पुत्रेदि तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुः
तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि.
तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि
तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि
सूत उवाच यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव.
सूत उवाच यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव
सूत उवाच यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकादर आजुहाव
पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुः तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि.
पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुः तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि
पुत्रेदि तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुः तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि
सूत उवाच यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुः तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि
सूत उवाच यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकादर आजुहाव पुत्रेदि तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुः तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि.
Memorize this verse also. The most beautiful and that bhav we should understand. I'll try to expound, but otherwise we'll leave it to the Lord. Yam pravrajantam. Pravrajantam means while going away. So, whom while going away, anupetam. Anupetam means anupetam, without any rituals of doing the upanayana samskara. Anupetam, without having any initiation into the Sandhya Vandana. Apeta Krutyam, not undergoing Apeta Krutyam. No ceremonies were done. Who is not without who is not undergone any rituals nor any Upanayana Samskara, who is not. Dvaipayanaha, the one who lives in the Dvipa, from that the name came Dvaipayana. So Vyasaji. Okay. So Veda Vyasaha, Viraha Katara, separation, fear of separation. Ajuhava, exclaimed. To whom? Putraeti, to son. Oh, my dear son. So now the background is Vyasji's son Shukdevji left home. If he is not undergone any samskaras, means he is so young. He left home just like that. He took sannyasa. He just left home. So with the fear of the separation by his son, who has not undergone any of the rituals, means he's still small. This father, Viraha Tatara, out of the separation, of the fear of that separation, Ajuhava calls out to his son, Putra iti. Oh, my son. He calls out. Who? Dvaipayana calls out to Shukdevi Maharaj. So, then what happens? Tanmayataya means he with all his mind and heart, he has called out now his son. That time, what happens, Taravaha. Taravaha is plural of taru. Taru means tree. So these trees, Taravaha, abhineduhu. Sun is going. Vyasji is calling out with all his tanmayataya, he's calling out his son Putra. Oh, my son, he's calling out. And the trees are responding, abhineduhu. On behalf of what? On behalf of Shukdevji. And that tells us about that next line. So next pada. Sarva bhuta hridayam. In all the bhutas' hearts, any living creature, anybody, not just human beings or animal, even trees, whose heart, who lives in the heart, who? Shukdevji Maharaj, means he's one with everything in the universe. So on behalf of him, the trees responded, because he is also the tree. To that, such a guru who is Sarva Bhuta Hridayam, to him, to that Muni, Muni Manatosmi, I bow down to that Shukdevji Maharaj. So this verse is Shuka Namaskar. Shuka Namaskar, this verse is. At the point when Shukdev Maharaj is going, and his father, out of that fear of separation, is with all his heart crying out, oh, my son. That time, this small son is not turning around to respond. But on his behalf, it's the trees who are responding, because he is one with everything in the universe. He's one with the trees also. So, oh, my son is called, the tree is responding to Vyasji. To such a Muni, my namaskaras. Such a beautiful verse this is. We all have to memorize. I hope in the first chapter, you have memorized the first 3 verses. Those are also important. In this chapter, these 3 verses are important. Number 2, 3, and 4. Sutavacha yam pravrajantamanupetamapeta-krityam dvaipayano virahatatara ajuhava putreti tanmayataya taravobhineduhu tam sarvabhuta hridayam munimanatosmi So yam, tam. Who is like this, like this, like this? That the father has called the trees above. Tam. To that I bow down. Like that. That yam we started. Then tam sarva bhuta hrudayam. To that who is staying in all the hearts, I bow down. To that highest Muni, I bow down. Wow, this is such a beautiful verse. Okay, we go to the next verse. Vaniji, Sajivji. Now, who chanted now? Yeah, correct. Vaniji and Sajivji. Yasvanubhavamakhilashrutisaramekam.
यस्वानुभावमखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम्
यस्वानुभावमखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम्
Adhyatmadipamatitirshatantamondham. Adhyatmadipam atitirshatam tamondham. Adhyatmadipamatitirshatan tamondham.
अध्यात्मदीपमतितितीर्षतान्तमोन्धम्
अध्यात्मदीपमतितीर्षतान्तमोन्धम्
First two titi are short, and the only third titi is
अध्यात्मदीपमतितीर्षतान्तमोन्धम्
संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यम्.
संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यम्
संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यम्
तं व्याससूनुमुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम्.
तं व्याससूनुमुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम्
तं व्याससूनमुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम्
यस्वानुभावमखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपमतितितीर्षतान्तमोन्धम्.
यस्वानुभावमखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपमतितितीर्षतान्तमोन्धम्
यस्वानुभावमखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपमतितीर्षतान्तमोन्धम्
That titirshata is not happening. Huh? Ati titirshata. Adhyatma deepam.
अध्यात्मदीपमतितीर्षतान्तमोन्धम्
Ati is happening, no? So ati adhyatma deepam atiti tirshata.
अध्यात्मदीपमतितीर्षतान्तमोन्धम्
It will come. संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यम् तं व्याससूनुमुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम्.
संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यं तं व्याससूनुमुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम्
संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यम् तं व्याससूनमुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम्
यस्वानुभावमखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपमतितितीर्षतान्तमोन्धम् संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यं तं व्याससूनुमुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम्
यस्वानुभावमखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपमतितीर्षतान्तमोन्धम् संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यम् तं व्याससूनमुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम्
Sunum. Tam vyasa sunu. Sunum is sun. So sunum to sun. Upayami, I bow down. Gurum Munina, I bow down to that great Guru, to that Vyasa's son. How is that Vyasa's son? That is the description. So as we saw, this is all Shuka Namaskara happening, right? So this is another verse for it. Yaha, who Swanubhavam, who has his own knowledge assimilated firmless. It's not a information. The knowledge is his. Who has the anubhava of the knowledge, who is experiencing that, who has become one with the truth. Swanubhava akhila, of all. Shruti Sara Ekam. Who has, we can say, who knows everything of the Shruti, who has assimilated all this knowledge. Adhyatma Deepa. So now over here, that Deepa, the torch, the light is of Adhyatma. He is showing to whom? Those who are tamondham, those who are in the darkness of the ignorance, and those who are atititirshata. Titirshata is desire to cross. Desire to cross, those who have desire to cross the darkness of the ignorance of this samsara, of samsarina, to such people who want to cross, to such people, karunaya, with great compassion, told this Purana Guhyam, this secret Purana, to that Shuka I bow down. So, to that Shuka I bow down, who knows everything, who knows all the Vedas, who knows the Sara, who is the essence of all the truth, and who out of his compassion to the people who have got trapped into the darkness of the ignorance and who are desirous of crossing this ocean of samsara, to them who is telling, to such people who is telling with compassion the secret of the Vedas, to that Shukadeva, to that Vyasa's son, I bow down. To that highest Muni, I bow down. Okay? Yasvanubhavamakhilashrutisaramekam adhyatmadipamatitirshatantamondham samsarinam karunayaha purana guhyam tam vyasasunumupayami munim gurum munina. Continue. Narayanam namaskritya.
Narayanam namaskritya.
Narayanam namaskritya.
Atara, Anuswara.
Narayanam namaskritya.
Naram chaiva narottamam.
Naram chaiva narottamam.
Naram chaiva narottamam.
Devim saraswatim vyasam.
Devim saraswatim vyasam.
Tato jayamudiraye.
Devim saraswatim vyasam.
Tato jayamudirayet.
Tato jayamudirayet.
Sorry, Sajid. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam.
Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam.
Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam.
Devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye.
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्.
So to cross the samsara, if you want the victory, then you should read Bhagavad. But before reading Bhagavad, to whom you should do your namaskara? Narayana, Naranarayana, Devi Saraswati, Vyasa. Namaskritya, having bowed them to them, then you start reading Bhagavatam and then you will be victorious. Not just directly. So that's why in our Dhyana shlokas, we have included all those namaskaras because then only we'll be eligible to read Bhagavatam and then only the Phalashruti of Bhagavatam we will get, that is to cross the ocean of samsara. Narayanam Naranchaiva Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Lata Balachandruchi, Lata Kartikji. Munaya sadhu prishtoham
मुनयः साधु पृष्टोऽहम्
मुनयः साधु पृष्टोऽहम्
bhavadbhirlokamangalam
भवद्भिर्लोकमङ्गलम्
भवद्भिर्लोकमङ्गलम्
yatkritah krishna samprashnaha
यत्कृतः कृष्णसम्प्रश्नः
यत्कृतः कृष्णसम्प्रश्नः
yenatma suprasidati
येनात्मा सुप्रसीदति
येनात्मा सुप्रसीदति
munaya sadhu prishtoham bhavadbhirlokamangalam
मुनयः साधु पृष्टोऽहम् भवद्भिर्लोकमङ्गलम्
मुनयः साधु पृष्टोऽहम् भवद्भिर्लोकमङ्गलम्
यत्कृतः कृष्णसम्प्रश्नः येनात्मा सुप्रसीदति
यत्कृतः कृष्णसम्प्रश्नः येनात्मा सुप्रसीदति
यत्कृतः कृष्णसम्प्रश्नः येनात्मा सुप्रसीदति
मुनयः साधु पृष्टोऽहम् भवद्भिर्लोकमङ्गलम् यत्कृतः कृष्णसम्प्रश्नः येनात्मा सुप्रसीदति
मुनयः साधु पृष्टोऽहम् भवद्भिर्लोकमङ्गलम् यत्कृतः कृष्णसम्प्रश्नः येनात्मा सुप्रसीदति
aham munayah sadhu prushtah. See, to me, you have asked, O Munis, sadhu prushtah. You have asked perfect questions. O Rishis, munayah, sadhu prushtah. By you, to me, you have asked correctly the questions. Bhavadbhihi, by you, by all of you, that lokamangalam. You have asked questions for the welfare of the universe, for the people of this Yat kritaha Krishna samprashnaha. You have asked questions regarding Lord. So those are why that is sadhu, why that is perfect, because by which yena, third case, by which atma suprasidati, the heart will be content. You have asked such questions for the welfare of the world, but you have asked questions on Lord Krishna. So that means those answers are going to lead for the contentment of the heart. Yena atma suprasidati. Yat, what you have asked? Yat krita Krishna samprashnaha. So you've asked questions of Krishna. So that's going to lead to the contentment of your own self. Munaya sadhu prishtoham bhavadbhairlokamangalam yat kritah Krishna samprashnaha yenatma suprasidati savai pumsam paro dharmaha.
स वै पुंसां परो धर्मः
स वै पुंसां परो धर्मः
Yato bhaktiradhokshaje.
यतो भक्तिरधोक्षजे
यतो भक्तिरधोक्षजे
Ahaitukya pratihata.
अहैतुक्यप्रतिहता
अहैतुक्यप्रतिहता
Yayatma samprasidati.
ययात्मा सम्प्रसीदति
ययात्मा सम्प्रसीदति
Savai pumsam paro dharmaha yato bhaktiradhokshaje.
स वै पुंसां परो धर्मः यतो भक्तिरधोक्षजे
स वै पुंसां परो धर्मः यतो भक्तिरधोक्षजे
Ahaitukya pratihata yayatma samprasidati.
अहैतुक्यप्रतिहता ययात्मा सम्प्रसीदति
अहैतुक्यप्रतिहता ययात्मा सम्प्रसीदति
स वै पुंसां परो धर्मः यतो भक्तिरधोक्षजे अहैतुक्यप्रतिहता ययात्मा सम्प्रसीदति
स वै पुंसां परो धर्मः यतो भक्तिरधोक्षजे अहैतुक्यप्रतिहता ययात्मा सम्प्रसीदति.
So, what was the first question? In the previous chapter, what was the first question?
Ultimate good. What is the ultimate good for people?
So that is the answer now. Savai pumsam paro dharmaha. What is the ultimate good for the people? For all the men. That is the paradharma. That means the highest dharma, the highest good for that person. What the person must be following, must be doing is that which bhakti adhokshaje. To the Lord, the devotion increase. We get transcendental devotion. Adhokshaje. Highest bhakti, highest devotion. So those actions that brings bhakti, that stirs the love for the God, for the highest good, is the paradharma. And how it should be? Ahaitukya. No hetu behind it. No ulterior motive. Motiveless. Love for the Lord is love for the Lord. No ulterior motive. Sometimes, no, these mothers love their children, they say. Then this ulterior motive comes so that when she becomes old, he takes care of you. Nothing happens like that. The world has shown so many times. Children are not going to do that when you are old. So we have to think. Mother's love is very good, but the motive. So without the motive, one that can love. Ahaitukya. And the next word, apratihata. Without any obstruction. That only will give Atma Samprasidati. When there is ulterior motive, when there are some obstruction, yes and no's and happening, then the result will also be yes and no only. But if you want that complete bliss and complete contentment, it should be ahaitukya, apratihataha, and it should be bhakti adhokshaje, highest bhakti to the Lord alone, without anything, any desire, any ulterior. It should be motiveless, obstruction-free devotion to the Lord to get the Atma Samprasida. Savai pumsam parho, savai pumsam, that alone is pumsam paradharmaha, dharma for the person. Savai pumsam paro dharmaha, yato bhaktiradhokshaje, ahaitukya pratihata, yayatma samprasidati. I've seen parents who don't like their children when they don't take care of them. I've seen parents like that. Oh, now he's got his wife, so why not there? They say. I've seen. Okay, we finished your 2 verses. Let's go ahead. Shobhaji, Rajeshwari Ammaji. Vasudeve Bhagavati.
वासुदेवे भगवति
You can unmute Rajeshwari Amma.
Sorry.
No problem.
Vasudeve Bhagavati
Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha.
भक्ति योगः प्रयोजितः
Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha
Janayatyashu Vairagyam.
जनयत्याशु वैराग्यम्
Janayatyashu Vairagyam
Jnanancha Yadahaitukam.
ज्ञानं च यदहैतुकम्
Jnanancha Yadahaitukam
Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha.
वासुदेवे भगवति भक्तियोगः प्रयोजितः
Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha
Janayatyashu Vairagyam Jnanancha Yadahaitukam.
जनयत्याशु वैराग्यम् ज्ञानं च यदहैतुकम्
Janayatyashu Vairagyam Jnanancha Yadahaitukam
वासुदेवे भगवति भक्तियोगः प्रयोजितः जनयत्याशु वैराग्यम् ज्ञानं च यदहैतुकम्
वासुदेवे भगवति भक्तियोगः प्रयोजितः जनयत्याशु वैराग्यं ज्ञानं च यदहैतुकम्.
So, if Vasudeve Bhagavati, in Bhagavati Vasudeve, 7th K, if in Lord Vasudeva, if Bhakti is Prayojitaha, if you have gained devotion in Lord Krishna, then Janayati Ashu. Ashu means immediately. Janayati means creates. Ashu means immediately. What does it create? Jnanam vairagyam yadhaitukam, causeless knowledge and vairagya. This passion and knowledge is instantly guaranteed for those who are worshippers of Lord Krishna. This is what it says. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayatyashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayadahaitukam. Continue. Dharmasvanushthitah pumsam
धर्मस्वनुष्ठितः पुंसाम्
धर्मस्वनुष्ठितः पुंसाम्
Vishwaksena Kathasuyaha
विश्वक्सेन कथासु यः
विश्वक्सेन कथासु यः
Notpadayedhyadiratim
नोत्पादयेद्यतिरतिम्
नोत्पादयेद्यतिरतिम्
Shrama eva hi kevalam.
श्रम एव हि केवलम्
श्रम एव हि केवलम्
Dharmasvanushthitah pumsam Vishwaksena Kathasuyaha
धर्मस्वनुष्ठितः पुंसाम् विश्वक्सेन कथासु यः
धर्मस्वनुष्ठितः पुंसाम् विश्वक्सेन कथासु यः
Notpadayedhyadiratim Shrama eva hi kevalam.
नोत्पादयेद्यतिरतिम् श्रम एव हि केवलम्
नोत्पादयेद्यतिरतिम् श्रम एव हि केवलम्
धर्मस्वनुष्ठितः पुंसाम् विश्वक्सेन कथासु यः नोत्पादयेद्यतिरतिम् श्रम एव हि केवलम्
धर्मस्वनुष्ठितः पुंसाम् विश्वक्सेन कथासु यः नोत्पादयेद्यतिरतिम् श्रम एव हि केवलम्
Vishwaksena. Now Krishna's name over here is come as Vishwaksena. Dharmaha svanushtitaha pumsam. People engaged in their work, in their dharma. If na utpadayet, if they do not produce, Vishwaksena kathasu ratim, mind engaged in the Lord. Vishwaksena kathasu, first line. Rati, second line. If people are engaged in their dharma without generating awareness of the Lord, then Shrama eva hi kevalam. That is only one labor. Shrama. That is one only unproductive labor they have engaged into. They will become tired only with that word. So, are you getting how the words are? Dharmaha svanushtitaha pumsam. Yaha dharmaha svanushtitaha pumsam na utpadayet, not producing, Vishwa sena kathasu ratim. If the mind is not going to Krishna or engaged in Krishna while doing the job that is in your hand, then whatever you are doing is some fruitless labor. Shrama eva hi kevalam. It is only some tiring effort you are doing, where the Lord is not there in your action. Dharmasvanushtitah pumsam Vishwaksena kathasu yaha Notpadayedhyadiratim Shrama eva hi kevalam. I have 5 minutes for the next class, but I have 2 more hands. We'll quickly do one verse because I don't want to disappoint both of you. Arunaji and Venkateshji, we will do one verse. Dharmasya ह्यापवर्ग्यस्य
धर्मस्य ह्यापवर्ग्यस्य
धर्मस्य ह्यापवर्ग्यस्य
धर्मस्य ह्यापवर्ग्यस्य. Both of you say again. धर्मस्य ह्यापवर्ग्यस्य
धर्मस्य sorry
धर्मस्य ह्यापवर्ग्यस्य
धर्मस्य ह्यापवर्ग्यस्य
धर्मस्य ह्यापवर्ग्यस्य. Okay. नार्थोऽर्थायोपकल्पते
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 अर्थस्य धर्मैकान्तस्य
नार्थस्य धर्मैकान्तस्य
नार्थस्य धर्मैकान्तस्य
कामो लाभाय हि स्मृतः
कामो लाभाय हि स्मृतः
कामो लाभाय हि स्मृतः.
We will do one more, but we will see meanings of this in the next one. Huh? Kamasya nendriya pritihi.
कामस्य नेन्द्रियप्रीतिः
कामस्य नेन्द्रियप्रीतिः
लाभो जीवेत यावता
लाभो जीवेत यावता
लाभो जीवेत यावता
जीवस्य तत्त्वजिज्ञासा
जीवस्य तत्त्वजिज्ञासा
जीवस्य तत्त्वजिज्ञासा
अर्थो यश्चेह कर्मभिः
नार्थो यश्चेह कर्मभिः
नार्थो यश्चेह कर्मभिः.
चेह. Go for the full verse, both 2 verses together.
धर्मस्य ह्यापवर्ग्यस्य नार्थोऽर्थायोपकल्पते नार्थस्य धर्मैकान्तस्य कामो लाभाय हि स्मृतः कामस्य नेन्द्रियप्रीतिः लाभो जीवेत यावता जीवस्य तत्त्वजिज्ञासा नार्थो यश्चेह कर्मभिः
धर्मस्य ह्यापवर्ग्यस्य नार्थोऽर्थायोपकल्पते नार्थस्य धर्मैकान्तस्य कामो लाभाय स्मृतः कामस्य नेन्द्रियप्रीतिः लाभो जीवेत यावता जीवस्य तत्त्वजिज्ञासा नार्थो यश्चेह कर्मभिः.
धर्मस्य ह्यापवर्ग्यस्य नार्थोऽर्थायोपकल्पते नार्थस्य धर्मैकान्तस्य Kamo labhaya hi smrutaha कामस्य नेन्द्रिय प्रीतिः लाभो जीवेत यावता जीवस्य तत्त्वजिज्ञासा नार्थो यश्चेह कर्मभिः. Stop over here. We see the meaning in the next class. Beautiful. Just reflect on the questions so that the answers would be understood. If answers are told when questions are not there, the answers have no meaning. You will not know what is being spoken about. So please do read again the first chapter with the meaning. Write down the questions so that when Suta is answering, you would be able to relate. Otherwise, it is not making any sense. Okay. Any questions in these first 10 verses of second chapter? So we stop over here and join for the daily Gita. Keep your spine straight. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in, hold it there. Om. 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 Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Sada sarvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam. Govinda, Govinda. Hari Om, everyone. Let us chew over the sweetness of Bhagavad again next week. And as a homework also, let's keep on chewing it. And the more we see into it, the more we will get to see. Hari Om. Thank you, everyone.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Varshaji.
Varshaji.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om, Jay. Hari Om. Hey, sweetie, how are you?
I'm good.
Good to see you. I should hear you chanting also. Join one of the days to chant, any of the day, any of the weekday. Yes? Whatever is your favorite. Devi Mahatmya, Bhagavad or Gita or Navnarayanyam, anything you join. Somewhere. Do one verse and then run away again. But come for one verse.
Okay.
Okay. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.